Hi, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing a speed painting video of watercolor of a Northern Flicker. This painting I'm not super in love with, but it was fun to do. So what you see me doing there first, I laid down a light wash of Quinacridone Yellow Gold, or Quinacridone Yellow by Daniel Smith. And then I touched in some burnt sienna mixed with just a plain brown. Several times the video will move to a slightly different position, and that's because I stopped recording while I waited for the first layers of watercolor to dry and went off and did other things and then came back to do next layers. So here I'm still using that same brown. I ended up using the same basic colors, the Quinacridone Yellow, burnt sienna, plain brown. I use a touch of a black, a bright yellow, and a Payne's gray. Oh, and just a touch of cadmium red mixed in with some of the burnt sienna later on. So this video is at 6 times speed. So most of these segments that you'll see I'll paint for something like 30 seconds, 45 seconds at a time, and then the video will cut slightly where I paused it while it dried. And in real time that's something like 3 minutes, 3 to 6 minutes, depending on each segment. So what I like doing for most of my watercolors, of animals especially, is to actually do it without any pencil sketching underneath. Oddly enough, for animals with browns in them, I have a hard time in general, but yeah, there's something about not having the pencil lines that helps me keep my focus more on my reference and improves my hand-eye a little. So good morning. I was filming the last part at night and went to bed and started again in the morning, and the light you can see here is pretty drastically different, but it helped me be a little more patient because that gets to me. Okay, so this dark that you see me putting in the markings on the Northern Flicker is not a black, it's actually Payne's gray, which oddly enough is this really gorgeous blue in my opinion. And on top of other colors it can read as more of a black, so that's why I'm using it here. It has a little more variation in it, a little more interest for our little friend here. And here I'm adding in just a bright yellow. I think it would probably be called something like a light yellow. I'm using something from a cheap watercolor set, so it doesn't have a great name, but yeah, that helped brighten it up. And that was a Signo Uniball white gel pen. I actually first saw this from Stephanie Pumin-Lau, who does the most gorgeous watercolors ever. And she layers that in to add back in some slight opaque white. Now here I'm doing a drier brush technique to kind of give the log a little more texture. I liked the colors that I'd pulled in for the log, but didn't like how flat and sort of runny it was. Alright, now it's time to finally line, which is awesome. So this is a Micron pen by Pigma. It's a 03. I generally like to work in a smaller size, like starting my lining at 01 and then going down to a 0.005. But because this is actually a significantly more blocky watercolor than I normally do, I decided to start with the 0.03. Now there you notice some white suddenly appeared. I did not successfully press record when I put in a little more of that white gel pen to help brighten it up a little. I think one of the things I would change redoing this would be leaving in more white space on the bird itself to give some dimension and texture to the feathers. Yeah, that really makes a difference with watercolor. Now this pen is also a Uniball. It is a gel pen that is supposed to have super ink and be waterproof. I don't really try painting over the areas where I put that ink in, so I can't vouch for that, but that's that. And then there I'm touching up with a little black. And that's about where I wrap up on this one. If you'd like to see more speed paint videos, I'd love to know of what you'd like to see, so comment and let me know and we'll get started.